So Mark Wahlberg and Jeff Bezos have both moved for tax reasons, but different reasons each. Mark Wahlberg's the easier one. He's the classic move of what you do to get out of state income tax. Lived in California and Hollywood, subjected to the California 12.3% max state income tax, and he did one easy trick to get out of that. He moved to Nevada where they have zero state income tax. Now that one's talked about quite a bit. People in California leave for state income tax purposes and go to a state that has no income tax or simply a lower income tax. Now Wahlberg's got income from all 50 states. He's got auto dealerships, fitness franchises, protein businesses, his production companies, which by the way have all moved to Nevada, the production companies. And so he's in the classic move for state income tax purposes. Now, Bezos, on the other hand, he moved from Washington and is going to Florida. Now, Washington has no state income tax. Florida has no state income tax. It's tax neutral when you think of state income tax. But why did Bezos move from Washington to Florida? One reason: estate tax. Washington has an estate tax of 20%, max rate of 20% once you have a $2 million or larger estate. Bezos has a much larger estate than $2 million, okay? So he's gonna have a 20% estate tax when he dies. Bezos is planning his death to be in Florida, where there will be zero estate tax at the state level. Now you still have federal estate tax, he's still gonna have that. He's gotta get out of the US and give up US citizenship to get out of that. But for state estate tax purposes, he's ditching Washington, going to Florida. He will have zero state tax when he dies. All right, now let's talk about Mark Wahlberg. Classic state income tax minimization strategy. Move out of the highest tax state, California, into a no tax state like Nevada. Now, this does have some perks and benefits, but he doesn't get out of state income tax entirely. I'm gonna explain why. Let's talk about his production company. Now, he moved that entirely out of California into Nevada. Now, that business is out of Nevada, located in Nevada, and he is avoiding California state income tax on that business because now it is located, income is generated out of Nevada. Now, on the other hand, Wahlberg's got all these other businesses. He's got fitness franchises and protein shake stuff and an auto dealership in Michigan, okay? So let's say he makes $1 million from his auto dealerships in Michigan. Now, Michigan has a 4.25 income tax on their state income. Now, he's got to pay, if he makes $1 million, $42,500 in state income tax to Michigan. Now, when he brings that $1 million home to Nevada, they say, cool, we don't have a state income tax. You paid Michigan, we don't frankly care. Keep all the rest of the money here. You're good. Now, when he lived in California, though, when he would make that $1 million in Michigan, he'd have to pay $42,500 there to Michigan. But California would say, oh, we have a 12.3% state income tax. You have to pay us the difference of 12.3 and 4.5%. We'll give you a credit on that 4.5% you paid to Michigan, but the difference here, the other, what is that, 7% approximately, you owe us. So you got to pay us another $700,000 approximately in state income tax, just because he lived in California. That income was made in Michigan. Okay, it's insane. So that is a reason why a lot of wealthy people, business owners, entrepreneurs, people like Wahlberg, will move to no income tax states like Nevada. Now, state income tax is a tricky situation. You have to know how it works. You pay state income tax based on the state you live in and the state where you earn the income. That's why Wahlberg got out of California. He was living in the highest state income tax state. Even if he made money in Nevada, Washington, Florida, he paid zero state income tax where he made the money. But when he brought that money home to California, because he's a California resident, California charged him their maximum rate of 12.3, no matter what state he made the money on. The only reason you can get out of state income tax if you live in a high state income tax state, like California, is to move. You can't just set up an LLC or some corporate structure to try to get out of state income tax. You actually have to move, like Mark Wahlberg did, out of California into a no income tax state like Nevada. All right, let's talk about Bezos. Why did Bezos move from Washington to Florida? Now, Washington has no state income tax. Florida has no state income tax. He wasn't moving for a state income tax reason, but he did move for tax reasons, no matter what he tells you. He might say he moved for all these other reasons, but why he really moved? State estate tax. Washington is one of very few states that charges a state tax when you die. So when Bezos dies, he's got one of the largest estates, if not the largest estate in the world. The guy's worth billions of dollars. When he dies, if he's a resident of the state of Washington, they will tax him at their maximum estate tax rate of 20%, which starts, by the way, at only a $2 million estate. If you have $2 million or more in the state of Washington, you are paying estate tax. That is one of the lowest thresholds across all 50 states. Bezos must be thinking he's going to die soon or sometime in the future, right? We're all going to die at some point. And so he's probably planning this around his large estate and avoiding giving 20% of this to the state of Washington. Now, Florida, like most states, frankly, has zero estate tax. There is no estate tax at the state level in Florida. Now, when Bezos dies, he will have an estate tax at the federal level, and there's no way around that. You pay that once you have an estate larger than 12 million. You get an exemption on the first 12 million. This is for everybody. But then you pay an estate tax that's almost up to 50% at the federal level. Now, the only way you get out of federal estate tax is to leave the country and give up your U.S. citizenship. Bezos isn't going to do that. Most people realize, I'm going to pay a federal estate tax, but you can get out of a state estate tax by leaving your residency before you die. Washington is a great state to earn and make money because they have no state income tax. Just don't die there if you've actually built wealth. Move to a state like Florida, or frankly most states, where they do not have a state estate tax. And make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. Get more info on how to build your wealth, save taxes, protect your assets, and live the American dream, and take control of your retirement, your financial future, and your wealth.